For the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities.
Hello and welcome to episode
Hi!
83 of That's a Shame. It's interesting that Isaac should interrupt because technically,
Yep.
in a very temporal way, you're not even here.
I'm nowhere to
You're
be
gone
seen. Probably
thousands of miles
right
away.
now that you're listening and that you're listening directly, but
Yeah.
also you, the listenership. I'll be on Space Mountain over and over again. And I'll be going to space. I'll be hanging out with all kinds of astrological chaps like Pluto. He's a dog. Goofy.
And an ex-planet.
Oh, don't say X because I hold out a lot of hope for that little guy.
Oh, so do I. Look, I'm fully on his side.
Get a change.org going.
All right, I will do.
Anyway, what's going on? I'm in Disney World, aren't I?
Yep.
Ask me how it is.
How is it?
Oh, let's not go into too much detail yet because, spoiler, no, I'm not even going to tell you why, but I'm not there at the moment.
It's the past.
It's the past. We're coming at you live from Earth could be obliterated by now.
Yeah.
Those solar flares that you not so much predicted as definitely told us were imminent
Yeah.
could have claimed us all.
Oh, definitely.
So that's something.
Anything could happen. I got a notification earlier
Go on.
saying
Mr. Pete.
I
had
don't know what that
marked
is.
herself safe during the Stamford Hill explosion.
No.
And
What's
I-
that I've
And
not
I didn't
heard
know
of?
any of what was going on. Well, no, it's been very widely unreported.
What is it?
Turns out a bonfire exploded and 10 people were injured.
A bonfire
Yeah.
exploded. What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean?
Well, how does a bonfire
I
explode? It's
don't
already
know.
on
I
fire.
didn't dare to look into it.
That's a lot of problematic content
I know.
all at once.
But what I'm saying is, this stuff can happen without you even knowing.
God, 1 minute we're here and then the next minute a bonfire
Yeah.
explodes. Makes you think, doesn't it?
Madness.
Tell you what it makes me think. Makes me think we should make this one hell of an episode.
Oh, we
just in
haven't said that in a
case.
couple of episodes.
Yeah, just in case.
But interestingly, they were better than the ones in which we did say it.
There's all kinds of research being done into the relationship between when we state confidence in the quality and the actual outcome, but the jury is out, and basically it's random at this point. It could go either way. So let's make this one. Let's pledge now to make it the best damn episode 83
Hands in.
we could ever do. Oh, nice! I'm pumped.
I am. I'm ready.
Oh, you've got cheese strings over there. Peeking at me, the horrible little orange appendages.
gorgeous.
What are you doing eating cheese strings like it's 1998?
Basically,
Go
my
on.
girlfriend got some yesterday. She got a pack because she likes them as well.
You're both very errors.
Well, you have no stance on this because you haven't ever eaten one.
I do. My stance is that I will never eat one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a very strong
But you
stance.
don't. Yeah, but you don't. You've got no right to speak on it.
That's not true. Just
It
because
is.
I've not done something doesn't mean I can't have an opinion on it. Otherwise,
You can
there'd be
have
no
an opinion.
show.
It can. You can have an opinion. You just got to admit that it's wrong.
No, very, very incorrect.
Yeah, she got a packet yesterday, and then I asked if I could have one,
Uh-huh.
and she'd eaten all of them.
How many come in
And
a
then
packet?
4.
100. Oh.
But we'd only been in 5 minutes.
Wow. Well, they are a small snack,
Yeah.
aren't they? Tell me, just briefly, what's the benefit of being able to string your cheese? What's the good
None.
part of it?
No, yeah, what the good part is that it does encourage you not to just down the whole thing. Because with a Baby Bell,
Yeah.
I like Baby Bell.
I call
but
them Babby Bells. But carry
I'm
on.
leaving. But where it's just in that severe shape and there's no marketing campaign based around peeling it, just
No.
eat it all in one go and then it's gone.
That's true.
Whereas the cheese string, probably a comparable volume of cheese.
Yeah.
But
I can see that. Lasts
where you
longer.
string it, it lasts longer. Enjoy a bit more.
Have you ever just gone for the chomp? though?
Absolutely not. If I saw anyone do
That's
that,
how I do it, right?
I would.
I'm not stringing any food at any point. I specifically avoid those beans that come with a bit of string because of
String
that.
beans.
That's them. You've heard of them. God, their malice
I know the
knows no bounds. When will they strike next? But I can't be doing with any sort of string in my mouth.
But it's not string. That's the point. It's cheese.
Yes, but it's a string of cheese. But there's no need
But
for
if
those
you've
two
ever had
concepts to
melted
be
cheese,
married.
then you've done it anyway.
I've done nothing of the sort, and I'd like you to retract that statement.
Start shut.
We're doing a whole episode of apologies.
plaster it all over Collindale.
Look, let's move them away from my sightline because they're really throwing me off.
Put them on your pillow, yeah. Over there.
Don't do that. I hear you've got some content prepared.
I
today.
have. I've got some content. It's
How are you
actually.
doing, by the way, in this week that we're in?
Oh, I'm
With all the
dead.
news that there's
probably
been.
dead already.
And all the weather that we're having. Am I right?
Well, that I'm having.
Yeah, both of
You're
us.
having probably nice weather,
Oh, very nice.
but not nice for me. So I'm probably happy.
Because you turn into the Wizard of Waverley Place. That's not what I mean. What is the Wizard of Waverley Place?
Isn't it the Witches of Waverley Place?
No, I think you are pitching there. No, I don't know what I'm talking about. I meant the Wizard of Oz witch. What's her name? The Wicked Witch of the West. You know when she melts.
Yeah.
But that was water, not sun. So
Yeah.
it was wrong on many counts.
Yeah, you could have plucked for a
Swing and a
cliche,
miss.
but you thought, I won't do that.
I didn't
I'll
actually.
go for my own.
I'll tell you the error. I didn't think about it. I just opened the mouth and let the words come tumbling
You
out.
did a Carl Pilkington.
Yeah, and that's
If you let your mouth talk, it will just come out with stuff.
Yeah, and it did, and that shows you what
it's been
equality
chastised.
will be.
I've got this content. I actually, I believe, teased this content
No,
a couple of months ago.
you wouldn't tease our listenership, would you?
I would. In fact,
That's-
almost exactly 2 months ago, I think it was that I teased this.
Okay.
I've been on the forums because we're writers now, aren't we? Writers,
In a
yes.
sense.
And so I've been looking through the comment sections of the various writing blogs and competitions for either the BBC or for the British comedy. I don't
Whatever.
even know what it would be. Actually, let me find that out. If we're going to slag them off, no. British Comedy Group, I think it is.
Wow, they really ran out of steam with the last word.
British Comedy Guide it was.
Okay. The BCG.
Exactly.
Not the one that they inject you with, though, in year 8.
No.
I never had that, did you?
Yeah.
Why did I not have it? They just bypassed my entire year.
They were just hoping that that'd
We'd
be it.
wiped
Yeah.
out. Yeah, everyone used to punch you on your BCG arm, didn't they?
Nobody punched me. I was seemingly, for no real reason, terrifying figure at school.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that really
I had
fell
this
off.
I had this reputation for being someone who would fight anyone,
But I
despite
thought
having.
you were very well behaved, and
I was, and I'd never been in a fight in my life.
maybe there was someone who looked exactly like you, like the evil Bart version,
Oh right.
and he was off the chain.
And he was also called Declan.
No, he was called Delkin. But people, you know, if someone's mumbling Delkin whilst
You're going to hear
pummeling
Declan.
you,
Yeah.
yeah,
you're gonna hear
it's
Declan.
understandable mistake. We've all made it.
So I've been going through these comment sections because my girlfriend said that she'd been looking through a few and that they were an absolute treasure trove
Really?
of nonsense.
What, the people who comment on writing blogs? You're telling me
I'm telling you that they're
they're not up to standard.
not some of the best.
Really?
And but they all think
Weird.
that they could be. But they're also all sort of aware that maybe they won't be. And so
There's a lot of stuff going on there.
I know, it's a mad emotional stance.
Desperation.
Where at the very core, they know they're rubbish.
Yeah.
But that's so deeply buried that it comes up as kind of a subconscious worry. And the rest is just all, this is what I've been doing. I reckon I can do this. And they've all got such mad ideas about how to become good.
What, in terms of like the trajectory or what they're going to write about?
In terms of the trajectory, in terms of how to improve themselves.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've been having a look and there's a lot of complaining. That's the number one thing. A lot of complaining about how it's people like me who never win these things.
Yeah, what, people who aren't very good?
Oh, so what they meant was first-time writers
Oh, I see.
in a competition where 70% of the winners were first-time writers. It
No.
was people like him,
It probably was, actually.
real people.
Because he's very correct there, but just not for the reason that he thinks. Yeah.
And that's a shame. So I've got a couple of those.
Good.
So what we are looking for now here, what this person's doing, they're cleverly quoting from the guidelines for the competition. We do not look for more of the same. We look for the writer's ability to pull an audience into a world and hold them in it.
Cool. That sounds vaguely non-consensual, though. It sounds like when you push someone's head under
Yeah.
water and hold
Don't
it
let them
until they
up.
give you the secrets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happens? Remakes. Hancock's Half Hour. Keeping Up Appearances. Are You Being Served? Porridge. Steptoe and Son. What Ofcom say about the BBC? Too traditional and risk-averse. Improve its television comedy. It's soul-destroying stuff. The stuff on iPlayer is dire, but then again, ITV turn out Benidorm. You can tell comedy's getting too long in the tooth when the actors start dying off. The knee-jerk to this is to say, then send your comedy entry to us. Trouble is, I don't know how to write dire. It's a genre that's banana skinned past me.
Oh, that's good.
But
Actually.
instead of past me,
Yeah.
he wrote past me, as
As in
he
someone passed me the banana skin.
Yeah.
That could be a pun that we don't get yet. But then maybe,
We're
maybe
not
like a
evolved
month or
enough.
something, we'll be like, oh my God.
Yeah. The recent BBC Two satire comedy show is excellent. Well written, funny, spoilt by the anchorman who was way out of his league. All the others have great careers ahead.
Are they talking about the Daily Mash?
I think
programme?
so, yeah.
It wasn't very good, I'm afraid.
No.
Quite wrong.
Let's hope that someone blows the rafters off the roof in this comedy window.
Blows the rafters off the roof of a comedy window.
Yeah.
Right, that's a very, very confusing
A very, very mixed
dive
metaphor.
into... wow. I'm trying to just picture what he even meant. Because he must have had a clear image of what that was. Because he's a writer, so...
Oh, yeah, so it
he's
was
probably
probably
been
kind of
outlining
very
his comments for months.
crystallised. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he sounds annoyed, so it's probably a bit unfair to
judge that
judge
material
his
because it's
writing,
in like the heat of the moment. And if he was going to come back and revise this, he might just delete the whole thing and never say anything.
Yeah, exactly.
That's very fair-minded of us.
Now, I found this other comment, and this one, slightly different tact. This person, they had a go
At
last
submitting
year.
stuff.
Yeah, at submitting stuff last
So
year,
they sent in their scripty.
and it didn't win.
Oh.
And that's fair enough.
That's
But
unfortunate.
someone else was scrolling through the thread for last year's competition, like any normal person
Yeah,
would.
like a serial killer would, just
Or-
sniffing
well,
out the prey.
Or a norm.
No, someone who's a bit obsessive. Maybe.
Yeah, but in a
Yeah,
normal way.
It's normal adjacent.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's next to normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not directly.
In the sort of horseshoe sense.
Yes.
They decided, this person who was looking through last year's thread,
Uh-huh.
in this year's thread, to ask this person, how you coming along?
that's
Saw your
nice.
comments last year. How's it coming along?
Where do you live? What's your hair smell like?
So they've responded. Hi, Ash.
Hi, Ash.
A lot has changed regarding my writing since last year.
Oh.
I've been learning as much as I can about script writing, enrolling on 3 masterclasses, Sorkin, Mamet and Rhymes.
Rhymes.
Yeah.
Oh, Shonda rhymes, not
Yeah.
as in like learning how to
Buster.
do rhymes. Buster Rhymes doing a screenwriting course would be amazing.
I also search out every writing blog, vlog and website I can find.
Wow.
I read every book too.
Wow. This guy's done his homework for everything.
I tweet and email writers with questions.
That must be
My
annoying.
writing has improved a lot, but the same old question nags me daily. Do I have the talent?
Good question.
Fundamental.
Judgment.
All the courses in the world can't help me if I don't have what it takes. I did send my script to a well-respected script editor, and the report I received was very favourable.
They're hedging their bets so much. With it sounds like if you were having this conversation with him, be like, yeah, I sent off the script, and he was like, it was
very
favourable.
Yeah.
I mean, you screwed it up and sent back some anthrax. But apart from that,
My biggest problem was exposition. I was doing too much through dialogue.
Oh.
I'm hoping to set up a Facebook page that allows all of us to send in our scripts for feedback. So we have to
the
hunt
blind
this down.
leading the blind. If ever I saw it.
A community we can all use to help, and I feel this last bit will probably be more prominent, and encourage.
Oh.
If I ever get round to it, I will let you know. I would value your opinion and advice.
Oh, that's
Good
sweet.
luck in this new window.
I wish everyone would stop calling them. I know what they
know.
mean, like a submission window,
But
but
it's
there's
not,
no need
is
to
it?
keep saying that.
No.
So what that, like, as we've talked about, I've been listening a lot to the Script Notes podcast.
Yeah.
And so I think it's fair to say I'm an expert on everything to do with script. I'm basically...
You've also
but
read
for the
every book,
employment.
haven't you?
No, actually. No, that's
You
my
haven't?
point. I've read a lot of scripts, but I've not read any books because it strikes me that this person exemplifies the concept of doing everything related to writing that isn't the
Writing.
writing.
Yeah.
And given that the only way to get better is the writing bit, seems like they could maybe do with
No, but they've
realigning
read all about the theory of cliffhangers, so they
That's
surely...
true. Do you think they've read like Save the Cat, all of those great books about like, oh, I've read Joseph Campbell once, and this is basically what he said.
Yeah, essentially
All
that.
those concepts.
He's probably got he's probably got a copy of Eat, Shoots and Leaves, maybe.
So he's getting a really grammatical approach as
Yeah,
well.
he wants to make sure the commas are in the right
I'll
places.
tell you what was good about all those books, and this goes for a lot of fields, but screenwriting is definitely, or writing in general is a big one, but any creative field where people are writing stuff about how to do it to kind of get you involved. Like, oh, you too can write a hit song. The only reason, I may be being cynical here, so you pull me up.
All right, okay. Look,
It
I'll
seems
be on the
to
lookout.
me that the only reason they're writing these these not scams but these books,
Right,
this
yeah.
literature,
You were nearly a bit cynical
I
there.
know,
You
I know.
caught yourself
I
there.
pulled it back.
Yeah.
Is because they've failed at doing it themselves, and they've thought, oh, I know a lot because I've read a lot of these shit books before me, but if I could repackage that and send it down the line,
Now,
because if they were working screenwriters,
I'll say like not all of them. I mean, you read Stephen King's On Writing.
yes,
He's very
but that's
successful.
more an autobiography
Yeah.
than like, he's not like, oh, you've got to work out what the reversal is in Act 2 before you can even think about
Where's your anagnorisis, mate?
Come
What you
on.
doing without an anagnorisis?
his was much more just like, I mean, his fundamental thesis is the best.
Just
the only thing
keep
to do
writing.
is read a lot and write a lot.
Yeah.
So you're already doing that by reading.
Imagine if that was the whole on writing.
do
it.
But yes, there are very, very few. But all the ones that are like the various, this concept that there's like a black box where you can plug an idea in, apply a set of rules to it, and it comes out as a story that will grab everyone's attention.
Well, it's just
universally.
not the case, is it? Anything
just
that you
bullshit.
put through that kind of formula is going to be formulaic. It's going to be the same thing everyone else has done.
And even if the formula, even if you can reverse engineer a formula, like all action films that have grossed over X million dollars follow roughly this structure, a good formula will not save your terrible concept,
No.
dialogue, clumsy prose.
And also
generally
because
being bad.
that, on that note as well, is that there are so many films that follow exactly that premise and have made sweet fuck all.
Yeah.
You know?
So what I'd say to this guy is less time with all the research, because really, like, what David Mamet says about writing is great as long as you are David Mamet doing the writing. It doesn't really apply very broadly.
No.
Because no one else writes like him.
Very good trailers, those masterclass things.
They do have good trailers. I'd like to do one. See
Yeah,
what
I'd
it's
like to watch them.
But I wouldn't expect it to help
I'd
me
never
in any
think.
possible
I'd never
way.
think. Right. Well, I'll watch this, and then that's it.
Step
I'll
one,
write the next
watch
masterpiece.
Mamet. Step two, Schindler's List. Electric. No, I'm not making a Schindler's List joke.
Don't.
That'd be ill-advised.
Very.
In today's economy.
Because you don't want to do any editing.
None.
In the past. So what I thought was, okay, maybe there are some people who are taking the let's just go for it and do it approach rather than the let's just chit chat about it.
Barreling on.
So I went to the Old British Comedy Guide.
Okay. I don't know what that is.
No, neither do I.
What do they... It sounds like the Michelin star book of
No,
comedians.
it's not even that good. I did the only good experience I've got out of this is that I've learned that Frankie Boyle has done a 2-hour special or two 2-hour long specials
what?
in Russia about debunking Russia for
Two
BBC.
Russians?
No, it's like ahead of the World Cup.
Oh,
Talking
okay.
about like football hooliganism and
Interesting.
drinking and whatnot. So that'll be good to watch
does
when that
sound
comes
good.
out. But yes, what I decided to look, because I was looking at one particular account,
Uh-huh.
a man called Michael Monkman or something.
No, you've made him up.
No.
Michael Monkman.
Let me just check.
Michael
no,
the
Michael
Monkman.
Michael Monkhouse,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Bob Monkhouse.
like Bob, but without any of Bob's talent.
Bob's charm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he was someone I've mentioned previously on the show when I kind of teased this content,
Yeah.
who is a prolific commenter.
Uh-huh. I've got a quick aside.
Okay.
You know how there's that thing about like, if your surname's Greensmith, it's because your family, way back in the day, they worked, I think Greensmith is with iron because of how it oxidizes. And like Cooper, what could that mean? That's a
they
bit
made
less obvious.
barrels.
Yeah, exactly. And then there are some that are really obvious, like Monkhouse. It's just where all the monks lived. It's such a shit
My
surname.
family lived on Dill Lane.
Big into the herb
What
trade.
did the Doyles do?
Oh, you don't want to know. And Bernier means angry bear.
So what
again-
were you up to?
I don't know. I think I was in the
Your-
Revenant.
I was going to say your great grandmother was that the mum in Brave.
That's her, yeah.
Yeah, he's a prolific commenter on this site on all sorts of threads, and none of them very good comments.
Oh, you surprised me.
I know, but I decided that rather than, because the interface on this website, you wouldn't believe it, but it's very, very poor.
Really?
Yeah. So I could only see directly from his profile his last 8 comments, even though the man's been commenting
For years.
since the internet itself was a boy.
And he's got some confidence here because he's putting his actual name to these comments. He's not hiding behind a handle.
He's going
You can't
straight out
accuse
there.
Monkhouse of cowardice.
Not at all.
I wouldn't dare.
So what I noticed was that he commented on this thread a couple of times called "Tell Us a Joke,"
Okay.
and what I then discovered was that this thread is over 4 years old.
Good.
It's now 211 pages.
Wow.
And it's all
How many comments a
user-submitted
page?
jokes. About 20.
Wow, that's a lot of jokes. Assuming
It's a
that
lot
the
of jokes.
joke to joke feedback ratio skews towards the former.
It skews towards jokes,
That's
yeah.
good.
There are a few interesting exchanges, which I will only briefly cover rather than actually fully read, because for the
emphasis is on the
dignity of
jokes.
our audience.
Oh, okay.
Some of them very, very troubling.
Oh, no.
But I went right back to page 1.
Good.
Thankfully, there was a button to do so, which surprised me because
Yeah.
there aren't buttons for much on this site. And here it is. This is the inaugural post, and it was exactly what I was looking for. Because we've often spoken about, I don't know if we've mentioned it on here before, we probably have at least in some capacity.
Statistically.
But we've definitely spoken about it ourselves, is that it's always the people who join the comedy club who are the least funny.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we haven't really talked about this very much.
No.
But it's...
I think we actually spoke about it in episode 4, really early on.
Oh, yeah.
Sit down, stand up.
Wow, good memory.
Yeah. That
Good
was that
narcissism.
was our longest episode ever, I think.
Really?
It was like an hour and 50 minutes
That's
or
mental.
something.
And it wasn't very funny. It was just like about the theory of comedy.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, we mentioned, I think, on that it's always the people who join comedy socks, who start these improv groups, who are actually the least funny
Have
people
we dived
that you
into
know.
why we think that's the case?
Oh, I don't know if we have time to fully
I don't
psychoanalyse.
think I really know as well. Something I've thought about a bit, but I can't really land on a full explanation that satisfies me. I think it must be some measure of obliviousness that means that you're both bad at jokes and in the sweet spot of bad at knowing that you're bad
realising
at
you're bad
jokes.
at jokes. Yeah, I think as well there's something to be said for the sort of people who are very, very good at comedy. Often are exactly the sort of people who wouldn't join a comedy
Like
song.
the whole thing of I wouldn't be in a club that would have me as a member.
Yeah, and also tend to have that slight antisocial vibe going on, so that the only people who would join already aren't in the top echelon.
Yes.
Like you can't see
Self-select.
Stuart Lee isn't going and joining Comedy Sock.
Do you not think? No.
Frankie Boyle's not joining Comedy
Can't
Sock.
see it happening.
Dylan Moran's not joining Comedy Sock. So already, like, you're losing. Bill Hicks was never. George Carlin wasn't in the Comedy Sock. So already you're losing like the top echelon.
Yeah.
And so the
core.
at best you've got mediocre.
Yeah.
And really at best you've got poor.
In practice.
So here's how it started, and I don't know the date, but I'm on page 10 of 210 pages.
Yeah.
It's 22nd of January 2014. So it was
2014.
before then. Yeah.
Wow. What were we doing in those days? University, was it?
Yeah, that.
Go on. You've had Declan's looking off into the distance like he's just been struck by a great innovation. This is what Steve Jobs saw when the iPhone was delivered to him by that big Mars bar.
I think.
Go on. Careful what you say now.
No, that was
Yeah.
the day
Yeah.
after we met.
Really?
The 22nd of January.
Why would you know that, you absolute...
No, because I remember
freak.
that we used to have a critical questions lecture on a Tuesday.
Uh-huh.
And this was Wednesday the 22nd. And I remember because we had we used to do, like, go out for drinks on the anniversary. So I know it was in January around that time.
Wow.
Wow, that's mad.
That is mad. So this While we were doing that, someone else was sitting there getting on
Someone
the comedy
else
page.
started this thread.
Good on
And
them.
what a legacy this thread has
And
had.
those two timelines have so far diverged, but only today are we
they
meshing them back
converged?
together.
And it's not really a convergence, it's more we've kind of strung a rope ladder over to the other one to have a little look. But
Caught it
we
on.
will definitely be coming back.
Yeah, we're like
to
pulling
our
it
own.
up for a little and then push it back off
Yeah.
into space, jettison it.
How about a thread for jokes where we can post lots of jokes?
This is already...
Because jokes are awesome and make us happy, like squirrels or zebras being eaten by cross-eyed lions. Anyway, here's
wow.
the last joke I managed to sell.
Okay.
Brackets, it was written for an American lady. Now, this joke is about 10 lines long.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you to bear with me until the end.
Yeah, I'll do
And
that.
hold all your thoughts.
They'll be held.
Okay. So I went to see my doctor and said, "Doctor, I've been terribly ill." He asked me, "What's wrong with me?" So I say, "Whenever I sneeze, it's green." "That's normal. Boogers are green. Did I cure your colour blindness?" I say, "No, it's green like dollars. $1 bills, $5 bills, and even $50 bills." "Oh," he says, "you've caught affluenza." "Affluenza?" "Yeah, it's like when you're so rich it makes you unhappy. There's a simple cure." "What's that?" "Pay my bill. You won't be affluent after that." "Are you okay? You're not sitting comfortably." I said, "I got affluenza so bad, I woke up this morning sneezing dollars, pissing diamonds, and shitting Tiffany jewellery." That's the end of the joke.
What are you talking about?
That
Was an absolute forest of meaninglessness. That was just like... It was so close to just a random order of images and words.
Yeah.
I couldn't follow a thread in that at all.
It's
That did not sell to anyone. Like, let's just put paid to that notion.
an American lady bought that
an
joke.
American lady, yeah.
What I like is that it strikes me as, you know, in scenes in like a kind of one of those awkward rom-coms like Meet the Parents or something. It strikes me as the guy who's under pressure trying to tell a joke,
To Robert De
and he
Niro.
keeps getting to the punchline and seeing he's not laughing, and
he's
so
trying to
trying to
make
make
more.
a new one
Yeah,
and
just
trying
have
to
that
keep
quality.
going. So no punchline is good enough, and eventually they just get worse and worse.
And end on shitting diamonds. What a fucking waste of everyone's time.
Pissing diamonds,
Oh, my
shitting
mistake.
Tiffany jewellery.
That is better.
What about affluenza? Any
Yeah,
marks for the pun?
It's not a joke because it's pre-exists even 2014 as a thing that everyone knew was like satire. It's just stupid. There was no form to that joke.
No, well, what I like is that it's a doctor joke.
Yeah,
that he
just
starts
loses the plot.
that he starts by saying, "So I went to see my doctor and said, 'Doctor, I've been terribly ill.'" Like, there's already a pre-existing
It's so
formula
weird.
for this joke.
If the only way to salvage this joke would be if after telling it you paused and stared off into the audience and started crying and trembling and then revealed like a doctor came in and announced, "Sorry, she has to go and sit down. She's been diagnosed with a severe brain injury."
Yeah.
Like that would be the only context in which that joke could possibly sell.
Now, okay, that's fine. You didn't like that one. That's
I
fair.
hated
We've
it.
got another doctor joke.
Oh, good. 'cause
Followed
that's-
this up. Someone else
What's good
piled
about
on.
that is it's so formulaic and overdone that, you know, it's always...
It's
gonna
not
be
a
funny.
doctor joke. It's
Oh,
just
it's
a
just
doctor joke.
doctor-based.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I got hit on the shins by a pork pie yesterday, and the day before got hit in the eye with a chicken drumstick. Doctor reckons it's picnic attacks.
Stop. Well, it's,
I mean, I haven't got them down because it wasn't worth my time reading them more than once. But I should take you back through this thread at some time
to see
because
the replies.
because there was a very strong theme of puns that were so far away from the original word that I didn't know what it was. Like, genuinely, this one is the closest they've got to a good pun.
No.
Apart from that one I sent you.
Oh dear.
But
I mean, there's nothing I want to say about that one.
Picnic attacks.
It's nothing.
Okay.
It's nothing.
What about this one? Tell me, E.B. White's line about comedy.
Uh-huh.
It's explaining a joke is dissecting a frog.
Yeah. You kill the frog and then
Not very funny.
you've killed the frog's dead.
Yeah, you killed the frog and the frog's dead. He
that.
had a way with words,
He was
Mr.
great,
White,
wasn't
didn't he? We're not here to ruin comedy.
Because
but
look, we haven't written jokes of our own at the moment.
no,
You have done.
I've done before.
And of course I have done as well, famously.
yeah,
some
yeah.
of mine have the most convoluted premises.
we won't.
And they are,
We won't.
resolutely
We won't
successful.
go into that.
No.
Have you sold them?
To an American lady. Yeah.
What I want you to do is just try and analyse this one. See if you can pick out
Okay.
where the joke is.
Ah, it's a challenge joke.
Yeah.
Interesting new genre.
Sales of top shelf magazines like Maxim and Mayfair have seen a sharp rise today since the news of BT switching on its porn filter.
Is that the end? That's the best one so far. That's so good.
It's just a sentence.
It's amazing though, because if you delivered that as a joke and then just like, oh, wait, and hold the position
Yeah.
till they laugh. That's
It's the perfect example that it's only funny if you read it with the cadence that it's the setup line and then
there's
stop.
nothing else. And then you just walk off the stage. It's the same person. It's the doctor. The doctor who came
They've
to
come
collect
back
his
for
tried
one last
a day.
line.
That's amazing. I was certain it was going to do something about like a sharp rise because they'd moved the shelf up or something since we installed
Or an
a new
erection
shelf.
joke.
Yeah, there were so many ways that could have gone, and then for it to go
just-
not only none of those, but nowhere,
Nowhere at all.
That really is the best. Maybe that is the best joke of all time then, because it defied every expectation I had. And that's comedy.
Now, I'm not sure. Unless, well, actually, to be fair, it probably could be. But also, there's just something about the way this person writes that makes me think it isn't that. That actually, they're just not very good.
Oh, that's a shame.
Because here, I've got basically a paragraph from their next comment.
Okay.
And I had to put this one in because some jokes about Jesus.
Oh, is that the name of his new book?
Yeah.
Catchy.
And I know that you identify a lot with
I
Jesus.
love Jesus. I'll put that out there any day.
There's three.
Okay. Of course there are. You know why?
Trinity.
No. It was his
He had
favourite
three
number.
fingers.
He only knew 3 jokes.
The big bonus is you can escape death. But what are we really in for when it's time to enjoy eternity in God's great afterlife resort? Are we talking Disneyland with cartoonish entertainment? Or is it like Pattaya Beach in Thailand with sun, hot ladies and shifty fat pensioners? Or maybe like a Danish weather with 6 days of sun and the great rest grey and rain? Come to think about it, death is maybe not such a bad idea.
What's that? This person's like having a breakdown. It's like the words are oozing out of them in the way that pus does out of like a dying maggot.
Yeah.
Horrible.
It's weird because I don't know what... I don't even know what they think is the joke bit there.
Well, there is none, I can confirm.
Can I...
Pensioners is a great joke. But
incidental
seems-
because you'll see here the next one starts, his message was love your neighbour
Oh, neighbour, N-A-I bore.
like you love yourself.
Uh-huh.
Beautiful words, except when you live next door to a person whose dog have made a shit everywhere in your common garden ground, and the way you discover it is when you walk out with your washed laundry in the dark barefooted, though you lose your Christian faith pretty quickly.
The most fucking laboured explanation of their own punchline. Like, if you just said, like, oh, they say love your neighbour, but what if your neighbour's a cunt?
Yeah,
Like,
that
you don't
is
need to explain,
already
like,
funny.
But what if they're a cunt and then their dog has made shit on our common ground? Sounds like some sort of contract.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And what you did, the way you discovered it was,
Yeah, well,
you were taking
going
out the laundry.
You know, it was like a Wednesday, or whenever your laundry day is. I mean, mine's been a Wednesday since
and
we got the new
barefoot. Maybe you're not always barefoot, but
Because you might have sandals, but
find the
maybe
shoe.
they moved that day.
What about this? And then I think he kind of shot himself in the back here because I
The
think,
back. That's a new place to shoot yourself.
yeah,
Wow. Stretchy chap.
because I think that the joke here was supposed to be the reveal that it is Jesus.
But he told us it was all
But he
Jesus.
told us
to
it was
begin with.
Jesus at the start.
Okay, well,
and
let's
also,
try and put that
and
up
also
now.
the punchline appears sort of before the setup.
Oh, that's an interesting idea.
But anyway, I think you'll like this just because of the first phrase.
Okay.
Soon it's the birth of the greatest magician of them all.
Harry Potter. Harry James Potter.
Bringing a dead guy back to life, walking on the water and feeding 5,000 people with 2 fish and 5 breads. Not even David Blaine elevating or David Copperfield making the Statue of Liberty disappear beats that.
Yeah. You're right. It doesn't. Because he's the son of God.
deities.
What's going on with this?
Imagine describing Jesus
As the greatest
magician.
So far, the 2 different epithets we have for Jesus are world's greatest magician and the original flat earther.
Yeah.
We've broken the news on both of those fronts on That's a Shame, and that's just one of the services we provide.
Oh.
I'd love to be around this person trying to tell a joke because it would, as unfunny as they are also the funniest.
Yeah.
If someone said that to
I
me,
would be crying.
I would have fallen over as soon as they said greatest magician. I'd be done.
It's the Adam Winstanley reading Don Quixote all over again.
Bloody hell.
Now we've got a different style of joke.
Is this
here.
the same commenter though?
No. Different commenter. Different commenter now. Different style of joke here.
Yeah.
Switching it up a bit.
Good. That's what we like to see, isn't it? We like the versatility.
Yeah. Inside the Apollo Theatre, Cinderella Christmas pantomime, :
Right.
buttons. The roof is falling down.
Okay.
Audience. Oh, no, it isn't. Buttons. Oh, yes, it fucking is. Roof crashes.
Wow, it was like a scene. So this is making light, but incorrectly, because I believe it was a balcony that collapsed of a tragedy that... Did anyone die when that thing collapsed?
Can't remember. I don't think anyone died.
If they didn't die, they didn't do well out
No,
of it.
it wasn't
That's
a
for
positive
It wasn't one of
experience.
those fun balcony collapses
No.
onto an audience. I mean, look, I'm not one of these people who thinks you can't joke about things like that. Of course. But surely it's incumbent on you to make the joke at least a bit funny. And I feel like they kind of fell at the first hurdle in that regard. How do you feel? Do you think that hit the sweet spot for you?
I feel like it hit the spot where it wouldn't have been funny even if that hadn't been a thing that had happened. He thought it was funny because it was a thing that happened, but it wasn't.
Right, yes.
That's my
It's a
summation.
string of mistakes.
Also, if it's a joke that you're telling,
Yeah.
you need a bit more than roof crashes as your punchline.
That'd be so funny.
It's
to
like
tell a joke.
roof crashes.
Yeah, no.
Oh, yes, it fucking is. What I like is he also asterisked out fucking.
Wow.
Mad.
He's read a screenwriting book.
My wife, now, this is a...
I'm worried about a joke that starts with my
Oh,
wife.
no.
It's not going to be hackneyed, is it?
No.
It's not going to be like Roy
Isaac.
Chubby Brown material.
Isaac.
Yeah.
Isaac, please.
Okay.
That is the sort of prejudice.
Am I up
But
here in
I'm-
my ivory tower? Am
You
I a
are.
coastal elite?
You're an absolute elitist.
Yeah, I can see that.
Go and get yourself your Costa coffee.
Yeah.
Bring back your Frappuccino.
Get a copy of the New Yorker.
Yeah.
Probably
just
go and
sit down there.
see a play or something.
Yeah, God, you
Fucking
bastard.
hell.
My wife was struggling with woman's problems. She couldn't decide what shoes to wear.
Oh!
See, you were right.
Yeah. Good one.
Imagine posting that.
My
A,
wife
imagine
was
thinking
struggling.
that was funny.
Yeah.
B, imagine thinking you were the first unfunny cunt to have thought of this. Oh, what if I
get
said
them with
woman's
this.
problems? But then what it is it's a little bit of a laugh at the fact they've got a lot of shoes.
Good one.
Ooh. Now, here's where I have to tell a short story
Okay.
that I don't like telling.
What,
But
a story from your life?
No,
Oh, okay.
no, this is a short story from the thread,
Right.
basically, as it were, which is that there was a joke,
Yep.
and it was about rimming.
Oh. That's a shame.
Exactly. And I've decided not to repeat it.
No,
here.
well, thank you for that, because we've already had Sean Penn's Bob Honey, who just do stuff,
Yeah, and
ruining
you
the
didn't
tone
want
of,
that.
of the whole year of podcasting, basically.
But there was a guy who commented questioning the biological logic,
Okay.
the logical
Yeah.
of the joke. Didn't seem to think it worked.
Okay, so he's got a very specific anatomical query, it sounds
Yeah.
like.
And then there was a bit of back and forth between them being like, look, don't know who's told you what rimming is, but this joke's fine. He was like, well, I still don't think it's right. I think that actually the positioning would mean you'd probably more be looking at the cock.
Right, okay.
And they went, well, no.
What an argument to
There was a
have.
back and forth. But then, you know, as it always did, it turned a bit nasty.
Oh, that's a shame.
People started
They weren't
having
having insults.
they were having a go at one another's ability to joke.
Oh no! In a forum where they've all demonstrated such a high level of competence.
Exactly.
That's not on. That's below the belt.
And he said, the man who misunderstood,
Yeah.
I don't need you telling me. I can write pro jokes whenever I want.
Prokes. Nice.
And they said, bet you couldn't.
Oh!
And then he came back with,
He's going to show him. He's going to demonstrate his value here.
Tom Daly should pull out of the Olympics. He can't even dive on muff. That's a pro joke.
Wow! Now, people might not have enough context to understand quite why that is a pro joke.
But I think most of our listeners could probably work backwards to figure out.
A gay
He's a
diver.
gay diver.
And therefore, unlikely, though not exclusively, restricted from. What a shame. Now, have we told that story about Tom Daly before, that someone we know punched him in the face?
No.
Well, there you
Who
go,
do we
that's
know
it.
punched him in the face?
I can't name them. We'll have to throw in a Mr. Pete.
Okay, who was it?
It was
Mr. Pete.
because he's from the same place in Cornwall or something, maybe.
Right.
And apparently is a very prejudiced boy, should we say.
A prejudiced gay diver.
That's him. That's a
Wow.
PGD. That's what we call them.
Who'd have thought?
We've got a code for it on the walkie-talkies.
Michael Monkhouse.
Yep.
This is where he makes his entrance.
Oh, he's not even been here yet.
No.
Interesting. He's been waiting in the wings like an absolute Phantom of the Opera,
Yeah.
biding his time, probably salivating at the thought that he's going to barrel in at any moment and just shut the place down. The party don't start till Monkhouse walks in.
And he says, my father was a failed epileptic. No great shakes.
Oh! That's not funny, Michael. Try again. No shakes.
Well, here's the thing.
Go on.
Okay, that might not be his best. But some people on the thread, they disagreed. They thought it was all right.
All right.
He didn't respond to any of them, though.
Why would he?
He's too
He's
good.
above that kind of thing.
But what's interesting is he comes back a week later.
I wish it was the same joke he posted. It's not.
I want to be a mover and a shaker. So I joined the Epileptics Association.
Oh my God. What a niche he's found. Solely epileptic humour.
Yeah.
That's Monkhouse's remit.
Well, no, because Monkhouse's thing seems to be he's a little bit edgy.
Okay, so he likes belittling disabilities.
It doesn't have to be disabilities.
Oh, it can be anything.
Just anything that's on the fringes of the taboo.
Right.
Anything
that society, with you know how political correctness has gone mad
Yeah.
these days, he's fighting against that.
Oh, exactly.
So
No,
he's
he's-
like, no, we should laugh at,
He was
Asians.
complaining. He had a big rant in one of the threads about not being accepted to the BBC writers' room
Because of his opinions.
Because they're just accepting these really obvious like one-liners. You're so like pigeonholed by political correctness these
That's
days.
just it's such a shame, but also such a joy that we've got crusaders of free speech like Michael.
Yes,
Monkhouse
exactly.
battling out our corner
Yeah,
for us. Because
yeah.
if we can't take the piss out of epileptics, like what's left?
Or his most recent joke.
Uh-huh.
It's not just like minorities he cares about,
Oh, okay.
or like people with disabilities. No, his latest joke. I do anal necrophilia for money.
Oh yeah.
Dead end job.
Oh, that's a shame, Michael, because it's not funny. But the fact that you've gone so
but it's-
specifically there.
No, but it's funny because he's mentioned.
No, it's not.
Wait, hang on a second.
Check again, because I think
Hang
you
on,
might have,
let me just reread. No, because I might have.
you might have injected a bit of
No,
humour
that is the whole.
accidentally.
That is the whole thing.
That was all of it, wasn't it?
That was.
And it was lacking in anything you traditionally find amusing. I
Or
think.
untraditionally. Conventional or
Yes.
unconventional, orthodox or unorthodox.
And I guess there's a humour in being so far away from like the anti-joke concept, but
yeah.
I don't know if it quite ticks the box for
I
that.
quite think that's what he was going
So maybe he's
for.
finding a third humour, which is the exact middle between comedy and anti-comedy,
Which is
nothing.
boredom.
And that's where Monkhouse thrives.
It's interesting that certainly in the early days, the whole thread seems to be dominated by the same 2 or 3 people who are just kind of like going back and forth, back and forth.
I bet they'd be
stuff.
fun down the pub, don't you?
Definitely.
Oh.
Yeah.
Laugh a minute with those guys.
Mr. Darkley,
Okay.
he comes in on Wednesday the 22nd. I've had a penis extension. I quite like it, but my wife thinks the conservatory looks a bit silly.
Dear.
Yeah?
It's just, yeah.
Sooty J responds, very nice, Mr. Darkley.
Wow. It's like a period piece. Very nice, Mr. Darkley. But I would that you oughtn't look at me like that in front of the staff.
Methinks Mr. Darkley doth protest too much. It's genuinely, I mean, like I say, this is page 10
Yeah.
or 11 of 211 or 10. Like we're 121th of the way through.
Uh-huh.
This is just an absolute endless trove of horseshit.
Oh dear.
I went to the chemist the other day to buy some hemorrhoid cream and came out with 14 toothbrushes instead. Bit weird, really, but they got rid of my hemorrhoids. Oh,
Funny.
you like that, do you?
No.
You
No, I didn't like that one.
why?
I didn't find...
I expected that to be right up your alley.
No, there was nothing in there that appealed. I love a toothbrush, don't get me wrong, but it didn't quite carry the joke. for
Tony
me.
Cowards has come back.
Go on.
He's only quoted the penis extension one,
Okay.
but
Got something to add to it, Tony?
good joke. But unfortunately, the brilliant Gary Delaney already does a very similar one.
That is a
Which is
shame.
it's a triple hit of shame. The original joke wasn't even original.
Yep.
One other person likes the joke.
Yep.
A professional comedian has done that joke.
Yep.
That is the trinity of
Brilliant.
shame.
The brilliant.
The
Gary
brilliant
Delaney as well.
Gary Delaney. Yeah, he
With jokes like that, how could he
yeah.
not be?
Isn't it the curse of all good jokes? Someone's thought of it already. Says
Yeah.
City J about that.
Yeah, that's really the curse of all creativity, City.
You end up writing bad jokes because who'll copy a bad joke?
Oh yeah.
That's his excuse.
explaining it. Wow. Dreadful.
As you say, for the short wordplay jokes, it's going to happen often. Penis extension, house extension. It's an obvious link, so it's going to be done a lot.
Yeah, maybe don't keep doing them then, guys.
But if it's something more specific / unique, or as this person says, actually funny.
That's great.
So
That's the
funny.
best joke in the thread.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Well, it sounds like there's all kinds of stuff to enjoy there. And 200 and what pages of it? 200?
211 pages.
So that's
At least.
we're going to start a spin-off podcast where we just tell you all of it. We just narrate
One
this
by
thread.
one.
We could do an episode on each joke.
I like that. Hang on, let's try and read this one.
Okay.
Here's one I'm trying to write,
Oh.
but I've posted it anyway. My high school used to have its own daycare centre. Then the nurse's office started handing out free condoms, and eventually they lost revenue.
Wow. It's always a good sign to end a joke in revenue loss. There's nothing funnier than the
The
hard
fiscal collapse.
fiduciary detail. Wow.
What? I mean,
No, there's nothing.
how do you write a joke and misunderstand so much that the fundamental humour of a joke comes from the surprise, the twist, but then decide the opposite, and that you're going to so desperately signpost what the joke is. I mean, that's not a joke. That's just a story about someone's high school where they had a daycare centre until they started basic sex education, and then they didn't need it anymore.
If someone
That's just
said
an
that,
uplifting story.
I wouldn't have anything to say to it, and I certainly wouldn't assume it was a joke. You'd be like, oh, okay, cool,
Yeah.
well, don't follow me home again. And that'd be it.
I finish with one last joke
Okay.
from Mr. Darkley.
Him again.
Yeah, he's back.
He's incorrigible.
And this, no, to be fair to him, this is a good joke. Are you ready?
Okay.
What do you call a donkey with a machine gun?
Oh, don't know.
A badass.
Oh, that's great. So many different ways that could have gone as well. It's interesting that it's gone for the machine gun equals
Bad.
Yeah, interesting choice there. So what we've learned is comedy is dying.
Comedy's dying.
A slow death.
But it's interesting that the people who are killing it
Yeah.
think it's being murdered.
I think it's probably positive that they're all being kept in this one place.
Yeah.
Away. Hopefully they're so involved in this thread that they're not, doing it, inflicting this material on people at like open mic.
No, exactly. I like to think that a very clever, very funny person set up this group to do just
keep
that.
them out.
Yeah.
So what happens is like you sign up here, they ask for your name, your address, and then that's as soon as it's submitted, they just send it out to all comedy venues.
Yeah.
Like blacklist. That's a good system, and I think that's something we could look to implement in other areas as well. As we are, big fans of restricting.
We love it, yeah.
Restricting the access of not
to
funny
art.
people to comedy,
Yeah.
not good writing people to writing, all of that stuff. Great. Well,
I'm surprised it hasn't been a more popular platform of ours.
everyone loves it. They're just, they just keep it on the down low.
Oh, I see.
Look, I'm in Disney World now, so I'm frankly too busy to tell people where to find us. So that's your job
you,
now.
you go.
I'm off.
He's off.
I'm going on Splash Mountain.
Right. Well, I suppose that's down to me then. So, if you'd like to get in touch with the show, if you've got a particularly good or bad joke that you'd like to send us for good purposes or for mockery, then you can do so in any of the following ways. You could email us, tas, at shame.city, or indeed you could come waltzing like the beautiful little super cons you are into our inboxes via the website shame.city/contact. If your joke, your message, your thoughts, your prayers take up fewer than 240 characters, 80 characters, I don't know what it is, then find us on Twitter at That's a Shamecast. Or you can find Isaac at IsaacBD or myself at Cynical Declan. If you've got some thoughts on the show, if you'd like to spread the good word, like the good Lord did, like Jesus, the world's greatest magician, sharing those 5 breads among all those thousands of people, then why not head to shame.city/review or /reviews and give us an obviously 5-star review for what is 5-star pre-prepared, pre-recorded content.
Are you recording,
Alternatively, if you've got $1 to spare, then why not head to patreon.com/shamecity and donate what you can. Otherwise, beyond that, of course, we always fall back to our famous, our infamous, our world-renowned Womibomb. Word of mouth is best of mouth. Tell a friend, tell a pet, tell a family member, tell the greengrocer, and you and they too may feel good. So, from me, Isaac, and from me also, Declan, we bid you a fond farewell, and we will see you on The Good Ship, episode 84. Until then, sleep well.
I was here all along.
Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities, oh Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder of my big home. The bees are buzzing in the tree to make some honey just for me. The bare necessities of life will come to you. necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities, oh Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder, my new home. The bees are buzzing in the tree to make some honey just for me. The bare necessities of life will come to you.